minutes to master, tools to explore. Let your imagination soar like never before. AI Tool Time with Rick McCarley, where your digital dreams come true.
One lounge. Ignition.
With Tool Time, today's demo is going to be not just Notebook LM, not just Gemini, not just Google Drive. It's going to be all the above and a little bit of Perplexity just for fun, right? So I'm going to start by showing you what I'm about to do can be done on any information you have. You're teaching a 16-week course on art appreciation, okay? You are getting ready to do a business plan execution. You're going to do real estate. So the metaphor I'm using here, the underlying thing, applies everywhere, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like if you were to do it on the idea of real estate and using AI in real estate. So what I call this that you're looking at is my thesis statement. This is the end result. So I have easy bake oven. Here's the pie we're going to have. This is the hero shot at the end. On the left, we need to get all the sources. So my thesis statement is the following. How can I use AI as a realtor to make myself better, more efficient, better service to my customer, and provide services that set me aside and make me more profitable? That's the question. When you start with that, you said, who's got that information? Well, there's a bunch of YouTube videos that you see on the left. And I think I got together 67 sources for my final thing, and I'll show you the actual thing. Then what do? First thing I do after collecting as much as I can, I'm going to add deep research. You see fast research there, search the web for more sources. And then what I'm going to do now to show you, so to prepare your library, imagine you have access to all books on the planet, which you do. That's what the internet's about, right? And then you're asking this one question: who's the expert on that? So here's how I get it. I go into Perplexity, and I'll show you this after. This is easy bake up. This is the final exam. This is what it's going to look like. And I said to Perplexity, why did I choose Perplexity to do this? Now, you can do this in Gemini, and I'll show you in just a minute. What I ended up, as I said, tell me every piece of hardware and software that before, during, and after a sale of real estate will make me better, faster, using all the AI tools that are available. What are the top AI tools? And here is the answer that it gave me. Now, why is Perplexity the place to do this? Is that when you're in the process of quantifying what you're looking for and refining your thesis statement, if you've ever done a master's thesis, it basically, here's what I'm going to do, here's what I'm not going to do. That's just as important, is to focus that attention where you want it. So you can go in there and have a long conversation with Gemini. And the cool thing is now Gemini has a direct connection to Notebook LM. Or the way I did it is I use Perplexity. Why Perplexity? It has, I think, 8 engines. It has ChatGPT in there. It has Gemini in there. It has Grok in there. It has DeepSeek, US version, completely customized. It's got their own thing. And it's the best at not hallucinating. That's super important, because if you put junk into your notebook, that means you've got spoiled the ground on which your truth is founded. So Perplexity is the best truth engine. It's twice as good as Gemini, Google, ChatGPT alone, because every citation you can then look. So I verify the citation. So after a long conversation, which typically takes about 20, 30 minutes, I've refined and focused my thesis statement. And then at the end, so here's all the citations you see on the left. Then I say, create me a plain text URLs, one per line, hit return carriage after each one, of everything we just talked about. Then I also export a PDF of the entire conversation in Perplexity, put that into my Notebook LM, then put this list of URLs, and we'll actually show you, and then I start to get outputs. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over, and then this is kind of where we're headed. I just want to show you what I ended up with. So this is 9 ways artificial intelligence amplifies real estate. Here's the tools, each identified. That's how I got here, is by starting by getting this information. So this is what your output's going to be. And this is a PowerPoint deck. This is 15 slides that talks about different things. And then I'm going to play this for you, and then we're going to go stop sharing, and I'm going to go over. You can hear this, right, Brendan?
I do not have audio yet.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to stop sharing here. Let me get back over. I knew there would be a glitch. I'm not quite sure why we've got it. All right, yeah, take me off for just a second and come back at StreamYard. I'm going to try to share one more time. So I wonder if, so I think I need to share the window.
Yes, the window
PowerPoint
will work with
slide.
audio.
Okay. And there we are. Now, do you see this? Let me back up just a little bit. Turn the
You see it?
volume up. Okay.
Let's get right into it.
And I hear it.
Today, we're talking about one of the biggest shakeups in real estate, period. We're looking at how artificial intelligence is completely changing the game for agents all across the US, literally transforming every single piece of a deal. So you got to ask the big question right off the bat. Can a robot actually sell a house? Well, the short answer, nope, not a chance. But the real story is so much more interesting. You see, AI isn't here to replace agents. It's becoming their new secret weapon, their partner that handles all the grunt work so they can focus on what humans do best, building relationships and, actually closing deals. And look, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy set way off in the future. We're talking about right now. AI adoption in real estate is set to just explode, going from about 36% today to a wild 90% by 2030. This is a massive wave. And honestly, figuring out how to ride it isn't really an option anymore. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We're going to follow the life of a deal from start to finish. We'll start with the AI revolution itself. Then we'll see how it helps find leads before the sale, how it helps you close the deal during the sale, and maybe most importantly, how it builds loyalty long after you've handed over the keys. Okay, so let's really get into it. The whole idea here, the big picture, isn't about replacing people, it's about augmenting them. Think of it like giving agents superpowers. AI takes over all the repetitive, boring, time-sucking tasks, and that frees you up to focus on the high-value stuff, the strategy, the negotiation, and the actual human connection with your clients. And the National Association of Realtors really nails it with this quote. The agent is the human in the loop. That's the key. The AI brings the data, the speed, the raw power, but it's the agent who brings the experience, the trust, the real guidance. The tech makes you better. It doesn't make you obsolete. So let's see how this actually works, starting at the very beginning, finding a client. For decades, right? Prospecting was all about who you knew, gut feelings. Now it's a science. And the magic behind that science is something called predictive analytics. The best way to think about it is like having a crystal ball that's backed by, well, a mountain of data. These AI systems just churn through billions of data points, market trends, what people are searching for online, property records, to flag homeowners who are starting to look like they're ready to sell, sometimes before they've even told their spouse. So what does this actually look like for an agent? Well, you've got tools like SmartZip and Catalyze AI that are digging through data to find those likely sellers for you. At the same time, other platforms like Yalabo are watching buyer search behavior, identifying who's serious, and then hitting them with the perfect ad. It's all about getting to the right person with the right message at the exact right moment. But finding the lead is just step one, right? We all know that speed to lead is everything in this business. And this is where these new agentic tools are a total game changer. Think of them as your personal AI assistant that doesn't just talk, it acts. These things can instantly chat with a new lead any time of day or night, qualify them, and even get them on your calendar. You literally never miss it. And the result of all this, it's huge. Just by using these tools for that instant smart follow-up, agents can boost their lead conversion rate by up to 35%. That is a massive return on investment, just from being faster and smarter than the competition. Okay, so you've landed the lead. Awesome. Now we get into the core of the job, getting that deal to the finish line. And this is where AI is just streamlining everything, from figuring out the asking price to signing the last document. You can really break down the AI powered listing process into 4 big steps. First, you get an instant, super accurate valuation. Then you generate amazing property descriptions. After that, you create these incredible ways for people to see the property. And finally, you just fly through all the paperwork. Let's start with pricing. These automated valuation models, or AVMs, think Zillow's Zestimate, They analyze millions of data points to give you a price in minutes. And the accuracy is, well, it's kind of scary good. For homes that are actually on the market, the Zestimate has a median error rate of just 1.9%. That's incredible. All right, next up, the listing description. We've all been there, trying to write something compelling for the 10th time this month. It's a huge time sink. But now, as this broker told Business Insider, tools like ChatGPT can write unique, really engaging descriptions in just a few seconds. It saves agents literally countless hours. And then there's staging. Oh man. Traditionally, this was a nightmare. Thousands of dollars, movers, weeks of planning. But now, with AI virtual staging tools like reimaginehome.ai, you can digitally furnish an empty room with any style you want instantly. And get this, it can be up to 97% cheaper. No joke. It lets buyers see themselves in the home. And the toolkit just keeps getting bigger. You got companies like Matterport creating these amazing digital twins of a house for virtual tours. You've got AI powered smart contracts from DocuSign that can cut down paperwork time by half. There are even tools like Snapped that spot fake pay stubs and AI drones that get you stunning aerial shots automatically. It's wild. But let's be real, the job isn't over just because papers are signed. The smartest agents know that today's happy client is the key to tomorrow's referrals and repeat business. And AI is now the secret to managing those relationships for the long haul without going crazy. This is where AI powered CRMs or customer relationship management systems are just invaluable. I'm talking about platforms like Wise Agent and HomeBot. They don't just sit there like an address book, they actively work for you. They automate your follow ups, they send personalized reports on home values, and they even use that same predictive tech to guess when a past client might be thinking about moving again. When you get right down to it, these smart CRMs play the long game on your behalf. A tool like Follow Up Boss makes sure you're always in touch without you lifting a finger. Others, like Boomtown, actually score your past clients to tell you who's heating up again. It's all about staying top of mind effortlessly. So when they're ready, you're the first person they call. So, after all that, what does this mean for you, the agent of the future? Look, it's not about learning to code or becoming a tech genius. It's about grabbing these amazing tools to make your human expertise even more powerful. And the data, it absolutely backs this up. A recent survey from the National Association of Realtors found that CRMs are already the number 2 tech tool for getting quality leads, right after social media. And as these CRMs get smarter and smarter with AI, you can bet that number is only going to climb. So the takeaway here, the message, is really, really clear. AI is not a threat. It's a force multiplier. It's the thing that crunches the numbers, sends the emails, and schedules the calls so that you can focus on advising, on negotiating, and on building that trust that is always, always going to be the heart of this business. It supercharges your skills. It does not replace. So we end right back where we started, this AI revolution. It's not on the horizon. It's here, right now. It's setting a totally new standard for what it means to be fast and smart and of service in real estate. So the only question left for all of us is, how are you going to use it?
If that's not it, literally, if I gave that to a client, which took me 20 hours probably to all total for all of this, I'm going to show you how I did it in a minute. Okay. Come up with a thesis, go out and refine your thesis, then collect all the data you can about it by using ChatGPT or Perplexity or other methods to basically collect the URLs that you need. Then you feed that into Notebook LM. I immediately, as step number 2, after I've got my certified, clean data, my grounded truth that's focused on the answers that I want, and I think about that for at least 10 of that, 10 hours of the 20 hours, 30 hours that I spent on this. Then I immediately hit this button. This is your, what do you call it? Somehow I'm losing words here. So this is a quick assessment of what are all the main factors. So take a look at these. So core applications, operations management, investments analysis. And if I have questions about what tools I want to focus on or what I want to do, this is where I ask the center part of the question. So here is what I asked for is, of all this data, so I had 100 some odd different videos and other sources of information. What are the lead generation, speed to lead is generation number 1. What are the 5 factors? Typically it's 5 that I ask. There you go. Lead generation, generation for AI content marketing. So I knew if you listened very carefully, it broke up my audio video that I just gave you into these 5 categories. So what did I say to get what you just saw? Tell me before, during, and after the AI tools that you would need to use to empower you as a human being to make more profitability. So that's my thesis. Once I do that and I break it down into 4 or 5 or maybe 6 at most, before, during, and after is what I did, then I start creating stuff like this. So this is brand new to Notebook LM as of a month ago or so. It will put in and generate. So I know that if I go to present to the real estate community, they're going to say, what was that tool you used? Now, this took me a little bit because the one thing it didn't do is in column D there, you see ChatGPT. Those are all the URLs. I had to go into Google Drive and get Gemini to put those back in there. And I ended up using Comet at the end. So there on the right is all the top 20 URLs for all the products. So they see a product they like. I want them to go. Giraffe 360 is a high-end 3D camera and AI platform that turns scans into HDR photos, virtual 3D tours. And then here's the implementation. So detailed implementation, effectiveness. So now I can hand you this, and then you can go purchase these products or research it yourself. So as a consultant, I would charge $2,000 for a 4-hour presentation. This is what I would, and I'm giving it to you right now. And I'm telling you, you could take any subject on the planet. I am not a realtor, never trained to be one. I've sold 7 houses, so I got an idea. But I did all this with just thinking through the steps. Create your thesis, make it down to 5 objects that you're trying to create as an output, which is before, during, and after. How do I amplify my AI to make my human skills more profitable and more efficient and more practical for my customers? Okay. So I come in, I add my stuff. And so here's on, so I'm going to switch now over to the other screen. But so I'm going in, I'm doing this on history of photography. So I'm doing a history of photography to the digital revolution. So this is my application of the exact same thing that you just saw, but with photography history course I'm teaching that's 16 weeks. And then I can do that by a knowledge factory engine. So that's raise your hand if you're drowning in data but starving for insight. You don't need another chatbot. You need a factory of knowledge. That's what Google Notebook LM is. What's your job? Be the human that curates that, focus it into a thesis statement. Then, if you're really good like I am, you then stylize the communication so it's more effective. So this is not stylized. That's way too much information. There's a simplicity. This talks about, that capability. So I'm going to, and then here's what it really breaks down to. Gather smart information. Instantly gather diverse sources globally. Go wide. Focus and refine in the middle section by having conversations with Google Gemini built into Notebook LM in that mid-section. Curate and refine it with AI assistance. Then go over to dynamic output. Decide what you want to output and how you want to output it. And there's another way of looking at it for curriculum for educators. So I'm going to skip right there, and I'm going to go back and stop sharing my screen. Are we still there, Brandon? And I'm going to switch out of that. Or am I?
Yes,
How do I stop this crazy thing from sharing? Oh, okay. Share screen. Now I'm going to switch, and I'm going to share the window. I don't think there's any audio here. Yeah, I'm going to share the screen where we are. And so I'm going to walk you through. So here's perplexity. So here's, find me 10 most important things about realtors or using artificial intelligence. So here's my question that I asked, right? So if you're not familiar with perplexity, a couple things is that you basically start here. Here's your history of all the subjects. This is where, now of course I just got rid of it, didn't I? Current website, the screen, find me all the AITV shows. So anyway, you can use it for a couple things, and for some reason I don't have, maybe I have it here. Oh, there they are. Okay. So this is where it created so it actually, I used it to do it here. So if you're using Comet, perplexity is built in, and there's an assistant off to the right. So you could actually use Comet browser, which is free to use. You can pay for Perplexity too. It's $20 a month, like everybody else is. You can use it to give you an assistant on the side, which says, pull me together 10 of the URLs. Give me those 10 URLs from the document on your left that are, or on your right, I guess, that are about real estate things. All the URLs, give me as return carriage between each URL as a list of just URLs only. So basically, I go through there. It's now going to take a look at the screen over here, and then there's all the URLs, okay? So now I can take that, and I can copy these, and this is not the right one, but you get the idea, right? I can take that, then I go over to Perplexity. Oh, other thing about Perplexity is that's where I get my news now too. So you can set it to go through and find all the stories that are going on. And each one of these is Christie's Auction Declaration of Independence, Apple founding papers. Wow, okay. So there it is. And here's all your links. So this is how I use my news, right? So Warner Brothers year-long Harry Potter anniversary plans. Here's all the stuff. Where's the information come from? There is harrypotter.com. So it's an answer engine, and that's why it's so amazing, right? So I can take that, and I can come over here. So I'm going to skip over just a little bit. So here's my David Shapiro kind of research. Here is robots. This is the war on reality. There's David Shapiro, and you can see here's the 5 layers of post-labor economics. So you can see this is the slide deck from that particular one. What's the future look like, etc. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new Perplexity. So I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to go back to the source here. Make sure I've got 2 accounts. That's how many I'm doing, right? So I could come in here and create a new notebook. And then what do I do to start with? Right here it says websites. Say, look, this is automatic. I copy and paste those URLs. It inserts, and so it's going to scrape all these websites. Now, this is not what I'm trying to do, but let's say it's about the history of photography. You can do this in Gemini or any large language model. You just want to make sure there's a return carriage. As it says here, upload your sources, separate with a space or a new line. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do to start with. So if you're looking for how to get a job in the AI world, put that question in, and then all the URLs that it finds for you that you find useful, have it do what I just did here. When you insert, it then ingests every one of those and then has it complete. So there's some of them that you can remove because they're behind a paywall or some other reason. But like here's plod.ai, right? And so here's the information, and then you go to the website. So this is where it came from. And Plod is a device. There's the device, right? So if you're doing a thing, so this is a listening device that notates everything that you do. I'm going to allow it to do that. And then here's what the annual, so it's a device that's like a size of a quarter in size. And here's the new device. You can put it on the back of your phone, and it basically tracks everything you've done. So it's one of the tools that it was suggesting I find out about. So how did I get there? Because it's part of this, and this is grounded source information. What else can I add? Take a look at these capabilities. My Google Drive. So now I've got connected to everything on my entire Google Drive. If I've shared with me, so I shared my one account with the other account. So this is from the mastermind. So I can come in here and take 100 documents, 300 documents that I have in a folder, and then ingest that. If I have the entire YouTube, I could do that. I can search for my documents here. So this is grounded truth. So your Google Drive becomes a source. What other sources do we have? We've got uploading files, anything on your hard drive, you can get that. Copy and paste text, go to the drive. Then you can go do deep research. So I could say, tell me everything I need to know about AI. This is Google working on your behalf to get this set of information to be so complete. So let me go back to a little bit of Easy Bake Oven. Let me go back to my notebook here. This is on the real estate one. So I did a deep research and said, find a deeper information with artificial intelligence influencing the real estate market, productivity, and stuff. Okay. So now what I do once I get a bunch of sources in here, and then I'll do a deep research. And then if I Then I go over here and I automatically hit this button right here in the top right, mind map. I'm going to generate a brand new one because I put new information in there since I last went here. But you can see there's 300 bits of information. Why is a mind map useful? Because it tells you where you are and where you want to go. So I thought of this problem of being the best real estate with AI agent, with AI augmentation. And this is what it came up with once I put all the information in. So this is a mind map of what's there. So in lead generation, conversational AI, predictive analytics. So what does that look like? And it shows you everything. And these are the things that it got, right? If I want to, I can come here and I can click on this and it goes to the center, which is, this is your Gemini chat window. You are chatting with Gemini itself based on 53 source items that I've got over here, including all these real, there is the actual video that it came from. Here's a source guide, and I could go actually watch the video too. So your stuff is not dead information, it's live. And what it's doing is it's developing an outline based upon me clicking on this lead generation. And then it's going to say from demographic behavior prediction, blah, blah, blah. And then what does it tell you? It tells you where it got it from. Which one of your things did it get this? Wise Agent, Catalyst AI. Then I could say, name just the URLs that I got this from, and I could create a master set of those. Or I can say, give me a summary of everything. So after the mind map, which I'm basically looking at, what did I get in this big junk pile of information? I'm filtering to see I got what I needed. Industry benefits and challenges, operations and compliance, property and marketing. It's a filtering and a curating of all the knowledge on the left. So that confirms that. Then I go to automatically, this is how I do it. I'll go to the next thing, which is to do a, I don't usually do audio overview, but I will definitely do a, why am I missing it here all of a sudden? Reports. Okay. So it makes these 4 options always available to you. And that is create your own report, a briefing document. So if you go here and you click on create your own, right? Create a formal competitive review of 2026 functional beverage markets for the wellness drink industry. Okay, so that's not a good one. Let me try another one here. So it creates these for you, a briefing document. There you go. It usually populates for you. So now it's going to create a briefing document. Do I want that? No. I want to come here and I want to say, I want a study guide, or I want a terminology handbook, or I want a skills comparison, or whatever I want. Create your own allows you to come in here and say what you want. I want to tell me 5 ways. So tell me the top 5 ways that real estate agents can use AI to augment their business. That's not working, but you get the idea. So then I generate the report. So what do I do with the report, which I've already done up here. So you can kind of see, here's one of my conversations. And here we go. So this is lead generation. There it is. And there's all the information. So I can turn that into what is a question I ask over here. So now we get to the point where I'm doing the slide decks, and I'll show you the slide deck in just a minute too. But I can also create a quiz, which is great for educators, not so fantastic for what we're probably doing here. But the slide deck that I'm going to show you in a minute is basically this one right here. And so what I want to do, and I've already created a couple of them. Let me say this guy. This is the slide deck. All right. Actually, you know, the one that I really like was this one. I did a really great job. All right. How did I get this? Take a look at this. This is my prompt. Give me a photographically rich illustration of the tools in the top 15 total for one for each slide. The slide deck showing off the capabilities in the top 15 ways artificial intelligence can be used in real estate. So I ask basically to fill the screen with the image of what you're doing with the tool in a visual and metaphorical way. That's great for infographics. And put the text as 12-point type, white text in a black box in the bottom right-hand corner. What does that look like? Hey, it looks like this. Take a look at this. All right. So this is Smart Zip. What does it do? Predictive sellers' likelihood of selling, 85%, data aggregation. So this is that first tool. This is the second tool. convent. There's the AI. So in the bottom right hand corner is the text, and the rest is filled with some visual that lets you know what it's doing. This is cool, right? Create a website and assemble it for this particular property. Holy cow, Base 44 does that. Put yourself out there. Basically send individual personalized mass outreaches, videos of you selling that house, optimized for each one of your clients, automated. HeyGen, the tool, you want to do that. Then you want to compare the HOA fields, the crime rates, and downtown zip codes. Boom, Perplexity you use. So here's the drone. So HomeJab is coordinates autonomous drone flight paths to capture professional aerial cinematography inspection. So you can inspect the house with the drone. Holy cow, that's fantastic. So if you want to have proof that there's not a leaky roof or it's still intact or whatever, use this software, right? So this you put in the house, and this is Giraffe 360. You put it in the middle of the room, it scans the whole room, it gives you a walkthrough. So you put all these together, it automatically stitches it together. So no matter what you're doing, and so here's before you got a bare bones place, you could actually take the customer's existing furniture and then stage the room with their existing furniture in it by just taking a picture of what they got now. Say, can you put this furniture in this room, in this space? Wow. How about you got pictures of the house, but there's a rusty old car sitting out front? No worries, Canva. And then you've got Quartz countertop. So analyzes property photos, identify features, and auto-generate detailed SEO optimized listing descriptions. Yes, thank you. Okay, so House Canary leverages decades of sales and economic data, provide pinpoint property valuations and investment forecasts. So how rentable is this? Can you use, can you Airbnb this property? Can you use a secondary house and income? What's my numbers going to look like? And then you could detect if there's something wrong with the information the client gave you. Oh boy, if they photoshopped their pay receipts, you might be in trouble. And then even whisper flow. So it's suggesting that basically you talk to it and you use that Plod device. I think it's one of the other ones. Plod. Oh, here you go. So this is a small device that you just carry with you. It records all your conversations and then gives you a summary report automatically. It's got AI built into it. Offers a comparison analysis. So what's the offer 1, 2, 3, 4, and then how can I do it? Manus is a little bit complicated, so I wouldn't recommend that to realtors. Okay, there we go. And that was just asking a couple of questions. Then I said, all right, so let me get you to make a really cool, how about this? How about show me the life cycle? So here's the software: acquisition, sales and closing, and retention. Awesome. In fact, I'll show you an updated version of this because I went into Photoshop and made this even better a little bit later on. But here is before, during, and after, and the software that you're using. The Matterport and Giraffe 360 is what produced this 360. So literally it's the interior. So this is a Miami Beach, is the illustration I got here. It does inside with Matterport. I'm sorry, Giraffe 360. Then it takes Matterport to go fly out the window of your condo, turn around and show you the view, and then show you what it looks like at sunrise, sunset, and then you could have it all together. This is actionable stuff, right? And this puts it all in one place. Then I made a couple of more. So I always try to do 2 or 3 of these, and I kind of think about, well, how do I want to present this? So this is another one. Before, during, and after. That was my thesis idea originally. And then you see there's the device. This is what it looks like. So you can actually see the end result. And I ran the same prompt, a slightly different prompt again and again. And then this is basically the same idea. And you can see if you're trying to present to, if I were hired as a consultant, this is what I would do for them. And I've got the visual, I've got the tools, I've got also my spreadsheet at the end. So there's a little bit different look at that same idea, establishing the value of the materials in the house. And then here's writing an email you're sending out. There's staging the house. There's the Matterport tool. This is, I thought, was a better visual. So I actually put together a whole thing, and I'll probably go back and do this later. There's, recording all of your stuff, and you're creating a presentation and a website entirely for it. I would use Adobe's Express application. It's better than Canva. It's got video, audio, and will create the entire website for you. So I'm going to substitute that out when I do a presentation, which I'm hoping to do for a large group of AI interested or curious real estate agents, because I'll leave them behind with all these tools, and all of a sudden, what was 40 hours of my work is now actionable. And you can do it about anything. So post-labor economics, here's David Shapiro's kind of deep dive, and I've been running this one like so many different ways. I did a couple of dark versions of the great decoupling, when we no longer are tied to our jobs and what that means. So, to land the plane kind of, you want to basically find a way to illustrate so people can look and think visually. You saw the audio overview. So probably the most important thing is that audio overview, because you just found out, because you watched the YouTube video, right? Exactly what I do. So curate your data, come up with a thesis first, curate your data, chat with your data until you really focus in on what you want. You can actually ask it to write a prompt so that you get great results. Tell it what you want right here. You got Gemini right here. You could do the same thing over in Gemini. So here is, I think, yeah, there we go. So there I am. And I went through a couple. This is just the pictures I've been working with recently. So you can see I went back and redid this slide because they didn't like the way it was. So next week, when we do have an expert, we'll be going deeper dive and talk about what does an expert think about what I just presented, and is there stuff in the real marketplace that maybe is better or different. I want to figure out if I could do this for a living. I really want to charge $2,000 for 4 hours of work. Actually, 60 hours of work, and the $2,000 is for me actually presenting to them. So you just got to look at, if you want to hire me, that's what I cost. 4-hour presentation. This is what I'm going to deliver to you. It's actionable evidence, and I'll leave you behind with everything you want. You can do follow-up questions. I charge $250 an hour for any commercial client just to get started. And then if I add value to what you do, hey, cut me in on the good side of the bet, right? So I'm going to stop sharing now, and we'll kind of wrap it up today.